Good evening, everybody, and thanks for coming out and joining us tonight. We are going to be meeting to talk about our Pre-K5 program that we have here at North Scott. My name is Kyle.harris, I'm the principal out at Grissom Elementary, and I'm also the administrator that works with the Pre-K program. I'm joined tonight by our two Pre-K teachers. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and we are going to talk about just an overview of the program, what it's designed for, who can join, how we select, and really just to answer any questions about kind of the difference between pre-K and kindergarten. So I'm going to turn it over to our pre-K teachers, Megan Delaney and Tara James, and let them introduce themselves, and they'll take it away.
Thanks. My name is Megan Delaney. I am the pre-K teacher out at John Glenn. This is my 8th year teaching pre-K. I see some familiar faces, which is always nice. I went to UNI. I have my master's in early childhood education. I've got 2 little girls. That's about it.
I'm Tara James. I'm the pre-K teacher out at Grissom in Princeton. This is my 3rd year teaching pre-K, and before that I did the 4-year preschool program. So, and then before that I did other stuff with early childhood. So I've been doing this a while. What else did you say? I have 3 kids. One here in high school, a freshman, a 5th grader, and a 4th grader, and long time ago.
So like Kyle said, this is just kind of an overview about our program. So pre-K is the same as kindergarten in that it runs Monday through Friday, 8:05 to 3:05. So it follows the same early out schedule and days off and conferences and all of those things, which is nice if you've got older kiddos. Like we said, there are 2 classrooms that are in our outlying schools. So my program's at John Glenn in Donahue, and Tara's is at Virgil Grissom in Princeton. Each of us have a full-time classroom aide, which is different from kindergarten. So there are 2 adults, which brings our teacher to kiddo ratio down just a little bit. Our average class size is about 20. This year I'm sitting at 16, and what are you at? 19. So it kind of fluctuates year to year, but currently that's where we're at. Eligibility, it's the same eligibility for kindergarten. So your kiddo has to be 5 by September 15th. On or before September 15th. And it's for those kids who just need an extra year, whether it's maturity or social emotional development or academics. We see a wide range of needs for kiddos that need pre-K. They get specials just like the rest of our kiddos. They have library, art, music, gym, and guidance, so they still have access to all of those programs. Busing is available, and I know that that's one of the big questions and / concerns. So we can talk about that after if that's something that you're interested in. Our standards and benchmarks you guys have on that orange sheet. It goes through all those different areas. So social emotional, persistent learning, knowledge and print, literacy, communication, writing, math, and fine motor. It's 3 trimesters, just like our elementary school, so your kiddo will get 3 report cards. And then there's also 2 parent-teacher conferences, so one in the fall and one in the spring.
All right, so I need to talk about the differences between pre-K and kindergarten. So we'll start with the pre-K. One of our big differences is we do have quiet time / rest time. Kindergarten, I know the kindergarten at Grissom, they do have a quiet time. I don't know if they do it the exact same amount of time as over at them, but our quiet time in pre-K is just a little bit longer than what they do in kindergarten. So we bring a rest mat. They can actually lay down. I dim the lights and listen to some soft music. And they do not have to sleep. Because I know I get lots of parents that will say, but they don't have to sleep, they don't sleep. This is what I find. At the beginning of the year, they're so exhausted because there's so much newness that they generally do fall asleep. Even people will say, but they haven't napped in like 2 or 3 years. They will generally fall asleep. As the year progresses, they might kind of outgrow that as their stamina builds and they're, used to the kindergarten or pre-K day, the full day. But, I will tell you, like I still have kids, like half of my class still falls asleep. And if they don't sleep, that is okay too. In our classrooms, it's just we need to, rest our mind, rest our body, we're gonna be quiet for a little bit and just take a little break. So So that is a big difference between kindergarten and pre-K. The adult to child ratio, which Megan mentioned in the last slide, we do have a para in our classrooms, so there's 2 adults to 20 kids versus not all classroom, or kindergarten generally doesn't have an all-day para. So, let's see. We cover most of the same concepts as kindergarten, just at a little bit slower pace. So we're still doing our, our letters, our letter sounds, our numbers, pre-reading skills, writing, those same things. We just get to take it at a little bit slower pace, which is nice for those kiddos. Let's see. Just like I mentioned, we're still working on reading, pre-reading and pre-writing skills, and starting, even some kids will get into reading in pre-K. Some of them are ready for that, some are not. So, we can, with that extra help in time, with the extra help in our classroom, our para, we can meet some of those, individual needs like that. For some of those kids that are a little bit higher and ready for that. Kindergarten does move at a faster pace than we do. Let's see. One of the big things with pre-K is with that extra year, your kiddo has that time to build up their stamina, to make it through a full day of school. That's often something I hear parents say when their kiddo's going to go to kindergarten. That's a huge adjustment going from half-day preschool to a full day of school. So, it's nice that we have that time. If they do need to rest and they're wore out, they get that longer rest time, which I find is usually a little bit more challenging for some of our younger kids, which is probably what most of you guys here have, those younger 5-year-olds. We do have generally about an hour of playtime in pre-K, like center time, so that's a nice chunk of time for us to work on social emotional, like instruction through play, so we can work on social situations through play, sharing, taking turns, what to do when we are having trouble with a peer. We have that time built in to be able to work on this. Where kindergarten is moving at a little bit faster pace, they don't have quite the same amount of time to work on those types of skills. One thing that's different about pre-K is that we get kiddos from all over the district in one class. So the kids your child goes to pre-K with, they might not be in their kindergarten class or even at their same school the next year. So that's quite different, whereas the kindergarten classrooms, it's those kids that are going to stay at that school in their home school. Let's see. In kindergarten, the academic rigor is more advanced. Again, just moving at that faster pace. And at the end of kindergarten, kiddos are expected to be reading and ready to go for first grade. In pre-K, we do have some kids that are reading and are ready for that, but not all kids. And the thing is it's okay, because they're still going to get that year in kindergarten to kind of catch up and get where they need to be if they're not reading by the end of pre-K. And just overall, pre-K just gives our kiddos just that extra year to mature, either social emotionally, academic. I mean, there's a variety of ways that our kiddos are going over that year to get ready for kindergarten. So it's just an extra year to get ready.
So the big question that most people have is, how do I get my kid in pre-K? So it starts at this meeting, which is awesome if you are here in person. I know we have some people watching online, and so we can, I guess if you filled out the kindergarten enrollment form, we can be in contact with you through that. That was the second thing. So it used to be like a pen and paper enrollment form. It's now all online, and that form can be found on our district website. You just register like you're registering your kindergartner. We do have a couple laptops here tonight if you would prefer to do that here rather than doing it at home. I do need that little green sheet back from you, that just to tell me who was here. And then we contact preschools contact us with their recommendations for kiddos who really need pre-K. It does go by need, so there are technically 40 spots. We each have 20 in our classes. And we do take our in-district kiddos first, and then if we have room, then we open it up to open enrollments. In May is kind of when we make that decision. So the initial letter will go out with your building assignment, whether you're in Princeton or in Donahue. And then in July, you'll get your confirmation letter with all your busing information if that is something that you are needing. So I know some people are on, that went to kindergarten roundup and are attending this season as well. Just because you're on the fence, you're not sure which one you're doing. We just ask that if you do make a definite decision to send your kiddo to kindergarten, that you let us know so we can keep moving down our list. So.
And one thing I'd add too with the enrollment, I'm going to quick navigate over here. If you are currently at one of our preschools, so whether you're at Ed White or Neil Armstrong or Grissom, or Children's Choice or Eldridge Preschool, any of our 4-year-old programs, you are set up in Infinite Campus. We would ask that you fill out a form again. It would kind of be like the same one. This is helping us with our kindergarten numbers. This isn't something you need to do every single year, but for kindergarten or pre-K, we are asking families to fill this out. So again, if you went to kindergarten roundup, you've already done this step, but it might look familiar. But just going to the website, under Students and Family, Enrollment and Registration. And then right down here, there's a couple ways that you can do register your kindergartner. And when you go through this, there is a spot to mark interested in pre-K. So as you go through, there will be a question that says, are you interested in pre-K? And we just ask that you click yes to that one. If you went through, if you did this for kindergarten and you didn't click interested in pre-K, that's okay. Just we'll get your name, we'll make sure that we've got that, but this is just how we're keeping track of incoming kindergartners as well as pre-K students. And so even if you are in the system, if you have older siblings that are in Infinite Campus, we do want you guys to go through this step. It just gets our information into the system a little bit quicker there. So now at this point, we can answer kind of some of the general questions. Really, one of the biggest things that people ask me about is busing. As Megan and Tara talked about, busing is available to all of the schools, all of the sites. Because we are located at the two kind of outlier elementaries with John Glenn and Grissom, we have a central location pickup here at Ed White in the morning that would go either out to John Glenn or out to Virgil Grissom. It also stops on the way at Neil Armstrong in Parkview before going to Virgil Grissom, or at Allen Shepherd before going out to John Glenn. And so that a lot of times that's one of the questions about our busing. Yes, no matter where you're at in the district, we would provide busing. It just might be from like a central location pickup or at one of those other schools as well. With that, when we get our names as far as deciding placements of where students are going, because we do have to kind of make that split about students that will be placed at John Glenn versus Virgil Grissom. Obviously, if your home school is Grissom or Glenn, that's a pretty easy one that we can do. But then we also just need to look at locations through the district, just as far as kind of distance from each building, just to, again, coordinate with busing and making sure that, we've kind of got an even split, because one of the things that we do want to make sure, again, as we talked about, just with that ratio of students to teachers, we want to keep that as equal as we can. We do cap at 20 for each of our sections, but we kind of like to balance our classes the best that we can too. And so that's why on that last page, just talking about the confirmation of what site you'll be at. Hopefully, sooner than July we know, but we have people that come and join later or change their mind, and so it gives us a little bit of time to make sure that we're getting people placed kind of at the appropriate spot there too. Anything else that you can think of right off the bat, or? Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll hang around for a bit. Megan, Tara, myself, we'll be here. If you've got specific questions, you can find any one of us and we'll answer those questions and hopefully get people started on that route for pre-K. So thank you again for coming out, and we appreciate seeing everybody here and supporting this great program that we have.